And welcome back, everyone, to Real News. We're here with a interesting turn of events for this show. Everybody probably already knows by now, but Bruce, Caitlyn, whatever you want to call him, her, it, Jenner, has announced that it is running for governor of California. And I personally fully endorse this. This is exactly what California deserves. This is really the perfect thing for them. I couldn't wish for anything better than a transgender Republican governor.
This is so California.
It is. It honestly is. Like, what do we think of this?
It couldn't be worse than their current governor, so go for it.
Because
It
I
won't be
think,
their first celebrity governor either.
yeah. Well, I actually think, and I'm being serious. Like, well, I have to look at her website more because I can't get to it because it just doesn't load. But the donation thing loads, of course, where it's a picture of her in I think an MG with a dog, and she's like looking at. She's not. Her eyes aren't. Oh God, this is bad. This is bad. Her eyes aren't on the road. She's in a car. The only thing that could make it worse is if she was in a Hummer.
Buckle up, buckaroos.
Yeah. This is so bad. Like, who thought this was a good idea to put Bruce Jenner, the Hummer killer, in a freaking car in the donate page? That's bad optics.
I think it's a troll. I don't know if she's serious. Like, I don't think it's a serious drum.
They put her in a fucking car again. Like, god damn it. She was the worst thing for, as Ricky Gervais said, the worst thing for woman drivers. Freaking Caitlyn Jenner. Like, do we think she actually has a chance of winning?
I don't know enough about California. I mean, it's very progressive to have a transgender, you know, governor, but on the other hand, she's a Republican, so it's like, ugh.
Could it just be an attention thing for her?
I'm sure it's that too.
I mean,
No
that's why.
problem.
That's what some people think she did the whole transition for. Was just me, 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 me.
Mm.
Trying to load her. Oh, her website's loaded. Here it is. All right, let's see. She has a clear vision for California. Okay, well, what's your Wait, there's no platform on here. There's nothing. There's literally nothing on this site. It's just a landing page. It says, I'm in. California has become my home for nearly 50 years. I came here because I knew that anyone, regardless of their background or station in life, who says station in life? That's weird, could turn their dreams into reality. But for the past decade, we have seen the glimmer of the Golden State reduced by one-party rule that places politics over progress, and special interests over people. Sacramento needs an honest leader with a clear vision. Yeah, I bet she's got clear vision, all right. She knew exactly what she wanted to be when she grew up. A woman. Oh, God. Yeah, so I think what do we think in terms of the Republican Party? Is this something the Republican Party should be accepting of or not?
It's a troll move. I mean, I don't know. I don't think this is a serious run. I mean, I don't think this is really This is more libertarian than anything else. It's not really even Republican.
I mean, she's
Look
running
at
as a
her.
Republican.
I know, like I wouldn't go and denounce her. I just wouldn't say anything about it. Just let her do her thing.
Mm. What if there is a seemingly qualified Republican that's transgender just running for something? Like, because Republicans are all about, like, oh, we shouldn't be normalizing transgenders. We shouldn't, be pushing for them. They should see a therapist. They should see a psychiatrist, not cut their dick off. Like, is this something that should be accepted within the Republican Party?
Uh, that's a tough question.
That's what I mean. It's a tough one, isn't it?
I mean, with her though, or him, or whatever, I wouldn't say anything to say, okay, you want to run as a Republican, we're not going to stop you, you know. Just let them go. It's California anyway, who cares if wins or loses? You know, it's not like it's a really good chance of Bruce or Caitlyn winning.
Well, see, what I'm worried is that this is, like, we may laugh at it now, but I think it's actually going to fracture the right a bit more because there are going to be people that are for this, people that don't care, and people that are vocally against it. And probably from the more religious side of things, the more social conservative side of things. And I just don't know what this means coming forward, because it is a conundrum. Because on the one hand, it is funny. It is exactly what California deserves, and I am kind of for it. But on the other hand, I'm not exactly for it in terms of, should we really be putting somebody that's mentally ill as your governor? I mean, I guess all governors are, so what's the difference?
I mean, they allowed Mitt Romney to be the governor, so obviously, the bar is not very high for mental acuity.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good governors like DeSantis.
Fucking
and other
Jesse
ones.
Ventura was Jesse the Body Ventura was governor of Minnesota. Okay, so
Oh god, he's one that they always float for like president, which I think is so stupid. But yeah, Caitlyn's your governor of California. If you really want her, you can get her. It will be interesting to see how this goes down. Like, I think it'll actually be I think it's gonna be more interesting than people are, thinking right now. But
at the very least, the residents of California should Mr. or Mrs. Jenner win, would be that if she does a terrible job, then all of the California residents can actually say that they got fucked by a tranny. So that's very, there's always a thin line, it's always a silver lining to every situation. Okay.
Yeah, at least you know what you're getting. It's not a trap.
These people want to get, these people want to get progressive. It doesn't get more progressive than getting fucked by a tranny.
Did you just say goat?
That's pretty progressive.
I was going to say governor, but she has to actually win first. So yeah,
That's pretty progressive too. Getting fucked by a goat. That's very progressive.
Oh, you get fucked by a goat. I love that goat. So if that goat cheats on me, I will beat her senseless and then cook her.
I think. Well, actually, are there any goats in California? Do they have goats out there?
I can't imagine. It's a big
Well, then it can happen then.
Yeah, they have to have a goat in California. Like that's there's a lot of people in California, and people that fuck goats, people that get fucked by goats. There's probably Muslims out there that eat goats too.
Yeah. So Caitlyn will be running. We'll follow it. We'll update you on anything interesting happens. But all she's done is announce it. Nothing actually worth talking about beyond that. So we'll keep it tuned in. But the other thing I want to talk about, speaking of California, because it reminds me of weed, which reminds me that, did you see that now with Matt Gaetz, they're trying to say that the investigation into him is about some supposed corruption within the medical marijuana industry?
That's so stupid. Like, won't they be happy? I mean, he's a politician. I really don't care if he's taking some money from these weed. It's not like, it's a Republican that's not being stupid with that shit.
See, and they don't even know. They don't even know if he's doing it. Like, that's what they're just saying that's supposed what the investigation's about. Because it's about a trip in 2018 to the Bahamas involving Gaetz and several young women. Of course, they throw that in there. Which was part of an orchestrated effort to illegally influence Gaetz in the area of medical marijuana. Wait, whoa. So people are trying to influence Gaetz. See, I'm reading this a bit closer. So he didn't even do anything. They're just like, oh, there might have been people trying to corrupt him.
You know what? You know what? I'm not even thinking about that title. You know what I'm thinking about? I know this is pretty fucking random, but I've been pretty random kind of anyway. So, I was thinking like, dude, there's a weed lobby. I wonder what the fuck that's like. The weed lobby.
Oh my god.
I was like, they're probably bringing up to like the Four Seasons in DC. Well, not even the Four Seasons, because they're not very, they don't like to spend a whole lot of money. Probably being some fucking attempt at a hostel in DC. and they're probably talking to whoever they're trying to influence. It's like, look, it's down with the corporations, man. Right? It's down. You need to lobby for, like, obviously weed being legal though, but like you need to lobby for like everybody getting like free jelly beans, man.
It's probably like they probably have Cheech and Chong as their like representatives. They're spokespeople for the weed lobby. But it's just I've actually wondered.
What do you try to?
Hmm?
We need to change. We need to change the national anthem to some Grateful Dead, man.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably also have a lot of libertarians in there. They have a lot of these like people. They're like, oh, you can do whatever you want to your body, as long as it doesn't affect me. So you have like all those type of people, and it's probably a real weird mixed bag. Like honestly, the weed lobby's got to be like a mixture of like libertarians, Democrats, hippies, like people that don't care about politics, like Joe Rogan types. Where it's like their single issue. You probably have like all those type of people in there.
Foreign policy, man. I think for every foreign discussion and stuff, like they need to take a hit, man.
All the wars will end.
And come to the table, and then it'd just be like, wow, like what are we doing here? It'd be great,
They probably
like,
unironically say these things.
Wars for everybody, man. Like
I'm gonna have to disconnect real quick because like your audio keeps going real weird, so I'm gonna reconnect. Might have been my problem, so we'll see if that works. But
never, man.
Oh yeah, let's still smoke it.
Like crazy, man.
Let's see how much that they're saying that he's like they were trying to scheme him for, because it like sounds like it's involving some sort of money. Pirozzolo, is that the dude trying to scam him?
Pirozzolo.
Some Italian.
Bippity boppity boopity.
We have Italian collusion here.
The Italian coalition.
It's just the mob. It's the mob getting the gates.
Hey, don't worry about it. This shit's taken care of. Don't worry. Bada bing, bada boom.
We'll handle it.
Yeah, forget about it.
According to the receipts, CNN's got receipts. Reviewed by CNN, Gates and Greenberg used digital payment applications, sent hundreds of dollars to at least one woman who attended the parties. Really? Did they now? Gates has denied ever paying for sex over the past 4 weeks. Assault the fan. Okay, yeah, we've heard that before. So really, this doesn't have a. Oh god! Start talking about weed. I start sneezing.
I'm getting a nosegasm right there. Just.
No, my nosegasms are a bit more violent, and they have a lot more to it. Like usually, I'll sneeze like 10 times, but yeah, pretty bad one. Let's see. Prozoi in Orlando, hand surgeon. Oh, he's a hand surgeon, an amateur pilot. Has over the last several years become a well-known figure at the Florida State Capitol. Yeah, don't care. What did he do? Paid $50,000 to be a listed chair at the reception of Ron DeSantis, according to an afternoon. Okay, this is so boring. Like, there's like nothing really here. It just sounds like it's politics. It really doesn't sound like anything. God, like for some like mob action or something. Like, I was expecting something cool when you see somebody like Pirozzolo on here. No, it's just boring.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like they're conspiracy theorists. This the Gates conspiracy, but it's not the good Gates conspiracy like Bill Gates. Like it's almost one thing. Like pick your side. Like left wing, their Gates conspiracy is Matt Gates. Right wing, it's Bill Gates.
Yeah. What do you think of Bill Gates? What are your honest opinions on Bill Gates now, post COVID?
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that guy. Like he's probably rich. He probably thinks he's doing. I don't know. He probably thinks he's doing right things, but he's probably not. He wants to lower the population. Probably. I don't know. I don't know how truly malicious the guy is.
Look, to be fair with that one, yes, Bill Gates is an evil prick, but that whole lowering the population thing, that might not be a bad idea.
That's something you can get around. That's
I
something you
mean,
can get
look,
behind.
there's daily thoughts where I fantasize about Thanos actually being alive and snapping his fingers, and then half of these fuckers are gone. Like that is a beautiful thought to me, And so, but knowing Bill Gates, it's probably some real fucked up thing because if Thanos snaps his fingers, then they're like automatically gone. Like they're just poof, never existence. My guess is like Bill Gates probably has some sick fucking method of getting rid of like a chunk of the population.
Apparently, he wants to block the sun.
Okay, well,
Yeah, that seems like that's a little bit conspiracy-ish to me.
Dude, Tucker had a
Oh.
piece on it. I'm not making
I
it
don't
up. I'm not making it up.
He wants to block out the sun. That just sounds like something like an evil Jesus. Out the sun.
That sounds like what a Bond
And-
villain would do. Oh wait, they kind of did try that.
Yeah. Like it's like, oh yes, we're gonna block out the sun to go and reduce the food production to reduce. And that's why they want to go and eliminate carbon too, so the plants can't make enough food, so you can't have that much population.
Okay, all the fact checkers, quote unquote fact checkers, are telling me that Bill Gates does not want to block the sun. I'm gonna find a Tucker clip on that because it was actually kind of interesting. But this is our Thanos people. This dude with some like squared off glasses and a sweater and his book, How to Avoid a Climate Disaster. Yeah, let's just snap my fingers. That's how we'll avoid it, guys. He's just weird. Like he gives me weird vibes. Bill Gates. I'm not comfortable with him.
I mean, he's a rich, like all these rich people. I don't know, they're not normal. If you're making billions, there's something wrong with you. And like most of the time, it's in the right way. If you're making billions, like things have to have been wrong in the right ways.
Right. Well, I think with
Well,
him.
some ways. I mean, sociopath at least.
Yeah, I think with him with the vaccine is because people kind of go conspiratorial on that. I think he's just pushing it for money. Honestly, I think he makes a lot of money on it. He's a big investor in these things, and
Do you think he really cares about money though now? Like, he donates a lot of money to charity. Like, I don't know if he thinks he's gonna like be this super person. Like, oh yes, I'm gonna be this, great like he wants to be in the history books. I think it's about fame. He already has the money.
but doesn't he already have the fame?
Oh yeah, but it's like, he wants to be not just the software guy. Maybe he wants to be like oh yes, I did this great thing and I'll be remembered like forever and ever. It's like Trump, like that's why probably he wanted to be president.
So you
I
think
think
it's
that
like
was part of it.
it's a grander world savior sort of complex? Like, oh, I wanna be Jesus.
Yeah, I mean for billionaires, like they probably get something like that. Like once you already make your money in the corporate world, it's like, maybe you want to go and like some of them want to be politicians and some of them want to be like, saviors. Like, oh yes, I did all this and this. Haha.
Okay, so this is what Bill Gates' pet project is. Like, this is real. He wants to fly planes around the air and like sprinkle this shit in like the clouds that would prevent sun from reaching the earth. He wants to dim the sun.
Yeah, I think it's probably. I assume it. I don't know. Like maybe
It's on
think it's
video.
gonna.
It's CNBC with Bill Gates. Like they have graphics and everything showing how they
Oh, I
want to
saw
dim the
that on.
sun.
I saw that on the Discovery Channel or something. They think it'll reduce global warming
Yeah.
by like painting the Earth white instead of like cloud darker.
I'm with Jeremy
I don't think
Clarkson. We need more global warming. We need more of it. It's too cold.
after this. Yeah, after this winter, definitely bring on the heater.
Let's all drive around in Range Rovers, Hummers, and F-150s and pump up some global warming.
Yes. Get those big old diesels out. Just go get those coal plants to start running at full power.
use some coal, burn some coal, and
All right, you'd like that.
disavow. I said that once on on another show that we used to do.
Yeah, that's not even what you got in trouble for.
Hey, I meant it in terms of, we need to warm people's homes up. There's some people that don't have heat, so we need to burn some coal.
You should get a shirt. You should get that on your shirt.
No. It'll be like the shirt we got Sam, but like for us. Like I'm
It'll
a
just say
proud
coal burner. Let's make it coal burner. Let's make it hot. Wear that to like downtown Baltimore
No, disavow.
or going to Philly.
Oh, you want to kill me already? Like I thought you guys liked me. I guess not.
That's see, maybe those girls would be into. They're like, oh, we think
I'm already taken. I'm fine. I don't need any more attention.
Oh, man, that's we need to go and do. We need to go and fight Bill Gates. You have like 50 kids by the time you're 50.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because then like when he does the snap, I'll be left with hopefully 25 kids, so I'll be good. Hopefully he gets rid of the bad ones. But
yeah.
Speaking of that, though, we have not heard back from our favorite special guest. You know who I'm talking about, right? Do I have to pull up her Twitter?
Oh, what's that going on with that? Did you ask something on the Twitter?
No, I haven't heard anything from her. I thought she was going to come on the show. We even had Big Al in here. Like, everything was going good. She didn't show.
Oh, that guy.
If you're watching now, Mrs. Cosmic Rebecca, please give us a ring on Discord. Like, you got in last time. You had a little technical difficulties. I bet we could get Big Al on. He's usually driving at these hours. So, if you're listening, just call in. I wonder what she thinks of Bill Gates. That's why I want to ask her about.
Oh yeah, we need good guests. It's always fun to have the guests.
Why'd she tweet out a picture of Churchill? That's random.
I don't know. Man.
Still an enigma. But yeah, well, speaking of climate change, because I know we kind of started talking about that. I know in the pre-show I kind of said, like, oh, we should talk about it. And the reason I was saying that is because climate change is something that kind of, like, fluctuates in relevancy. But have you guys noticed that as COVID's been dying down, they've been bringing climate change back to the forefront? Like, they had the thing where Greta Thunberg came to the Congress and testified, and Biden announced these, like, he announced, like, raising the capital gains tax of 43%, and then he also announced, like, cutting carbon emissions by, like, X% by X year. Like, why are they pivoting so hard on climate change? I don't get it.
Oh, that's what I think people care about.
Is it? Or is there something else going on? Is it about power, control? Like, what is... I know the CNN, on the James O'Keefe Project Veritas videos, they had the one guy in CNN saying, like, they're moving to climate change next because, it's good for ratings, it's fear. But is that why the political people are doing it?
I don't know, man. I'm not a math magician,
It's just weird. Like, I don't get it. And it's like, what's their plan? Like, what's going on here? There's gotta be more to it. But yeah, do you have any ideas, like, what it could be about? Like, why do they care about climate change now?
Well, they've been talking about that. That's what Greta's been doing. Like, they want to pump it up, so they like. I think they have their money invested in these green companies.
Ooh, see, that could be it. Money. That might actually be more of it. Now I'm thinking about, because you see how much
they want to do that Green New Deal, so that's going to be pumping in a bunch of money into new developments. It's a way to go and like stimulate the economy in a stupid way, because they're just going to be ditching out, like, printing out more money to go and pay for it.
Oh, and did you see? I know I'm pivoting again, but I saw this on Twitter. There's an election audit happening in Arizona right now, which I think is a big deal. Nobody's talking about, but it's a big deal because they're actually gonna look for actual fraud for once. Like, it's not just anecdotal people going like, "Oh, I saw some person like do something." Like, no, like they're actually looking at all the ballots, and then some. Trump is demanding the Arizona governor send state police or the National Guard to the audit. This shit's
They
getting
should.
real.
I'm wondering what's going to happen with that. I don't know. I think a lot of what happened with Arizona is you get these snowbirds. I think it's shifting. But like, why people want to move in Arizona? Like, I just don't really see the benefit of that.
I think it's a lot of retirees that don't want to live in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
They want the humid heat, but they want the dry heat, and they're too cucky to go to Texas. Because I just go to
Yeah.
Texas. Like, to me, it's either if you want heat, you go to Texas or Florida. Nothing else. The rest
Yeah,
of the
my mom-
South is disgustingly
mom
humid.
likes- My mother likes Arizona a lot more because it's like it's hot, but it's dry heat, and it's like very like I don't know. There's just something about it, and of course, I think they have like it. You've got your casino over there too. I don't know if Texas has casinos yet. I don't think. But
I bet they
yeah,
have to, right? I think they would. Or isn't it was gambling a state by state thing?
well, yeah, it's a state by state thing. Yeah, I don't think Texas has gambling yet, but yeah, I yeah, Arizona definitely has it. So it's like the dry. It's like dry heat. Like you're close to the Mexican border. And you got gambling, which is like an old person's fucking dream. So land isn't that particularly expensive, down there in Arizona. I mean, yeah, like I have a lot of friends down there, like that have retired down there in Arizona. So I mean, tis what tis.
Yeah, I have no interest in going. I mean, I've been there once, but I would never live there. Not my style. Too dry, too hot, too boring. Like, it just doesn't do it for me. Although it's got some pretty scenery, I'll give it that. That's where Monument Valley is, where they shot a lot of John Wayne westerns, a lot of other famous westerns. I think Stagecoach was shot there too, the OG one. Like, it's a pretty place, but it's just not where I'd want to live. But the recount is in Maricopa County, which has 2 million ballots. It's one of the more
Right.
controversial counties because there's probably a lot of shady stuff happening there. It's really interesting what they're doing there. Like, this is something that should have happened long ago, but I'm glad it's happening now because if one domino falls, the rest go with it. Like, when one goes, it's like, oh shit, well, we gotta go into the other states. We're not conspiracy theorists anymore. Like, we have the evidence, we have the documents. So I am excited for that, but I'm pessimistically looking at you because I have no faith in the Republican Party doing things properly and not fucking it up. But I do have a little faith in this because Ronna McDaniel's not doing it, the RNC's not doing it. It is just patriots, Trump supporters organizing to do this. I think it's like the Arizona Republican like circle that's doing this. Like, I don't know what you'd call it per se. I don't know if it's like the state committee or something, but it's like they're kind of going at this on their own.
Yeah, it just really makes me wonder, like, why are these the only people that are, dealing with this shit?
Because the RNC doesn't
Like, why are
care
they?
because they want Trump out.
Yeah, that's probably true. That's bullshit.
Well, and the other thing too is, if you notice too, because I post this in news, guess who is suing Arizona to try and stop this from happening?
To the Biden administration.
The Democratic Party.
Hmm.
If there
Like, why
was
do they care if it's
nothing
audited?
here Why are they suing them? If there's no fraud, if there's nothing to be afraid of, why are they trying to stop it? It's just so
Yeah, obviously.
guilty.
I don't know. I'm curious of what they're really gonna find though.
Yeah, me too. I'm not
I hope.
holding high standards, but hopefully they find something so we can put this to bed. God, this article's not loading. But yeah, so there's those things going on that we'll keep track of. That's gonna be a slow thing that hopefully yields some news. Has there been anything else happening this week? I know Biden's raising the corporate, or the wealth level of, what do you call it? I keep forgetting it. Capital gains tax. The wealthy's capital gains tax from like 28% to 40%.
I think that's stupid. Like that's gonna prevent people from investing in companies. That's gonna hurt the stock market.
No, it tanked like right when they announced it. Like, rich people don't want to pay more taxes. I mean, who does?
On the one hand, though, I think that's great for for the Republicans, because it'll help them if they do something stupid like that.
Well, is that just the 40%? Is that just in general, or is that like a certain dollar amount or something like
It's
that?
like I said, it's the wealthy. So I forget what the exact like dollar amount is. I'm trying to find it.
Because like they're trying to sell this. They're trying to sell this like, oh, they're going after the rich or whatever. And it's like, look, it's 2021. There's all kinds of people that are investing in the stock market now. And a large chunk of the investing that goes on is like institutional investing. Like, so it's not like, and it's tied into other people's like mutual funds or 401ks or stuff like that. So it's like, it's not like some rich asshole fucking and buying and selling. I mean, you get a slice of them, but that's not like the total picture. And so like, well, I mean, this is what Donald Trump did, and he did well. Like he made sure he let people know that yes, it's not like just it's not just the rich people that invest in the stock market. It's like there's a lot. There's a lot of people that invest, and this is the problem. So like this is the problem. One of the problems that we're gonna have is like I feel like Democrats are trying to dumb down the fucking country, and I mean we have to continue. Like the onus is on us to educate people. The onus is going to be on us to educate people, like as to why being conservative matters, why having those conservative values matters. Like we have to be on the forefront of educating people as to why, because if we don't, then you know then they win, because it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop in the high school. It's not going to stop in grade school, junior high school, college, whatever. It's not going to stop there. The liberal indoctrination is going to continue every day from here on out. There's nothing stop it. Until there's changes that happen, the onus is on us. Like we have to, like, I know it sucks. And it's like, well, why should I have to do it? Why can't these fucking schools do it? Because we are paying them to do it, but like, clearly they're not doing it. Like clearly they're not educating people, so it has to be on us.
That's one thing
That's
I've
why
been
you have
thinking about is
organizations like turning. Yeah.
well, yeah, I mean, I've think of two things, which is one, I'm trying to think of ways that I can do something to create, because I have like a few organizations in mind, but like one of them is a sort of, I don't know if I'd call it like a school, but like some sort of way to get conservatives into institutions. Because the more and more I've been thinking about things, we're missing the biggest story of the freaking week. Derek Chauvin walking. Or no, sorry, guilty. He didn't walk.
Yeah.
What am I saying?
Yeah, he walked to his fucking jail cell. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Isn't it weird how we already forgot about that?
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
Yeah.
And it tells you this is what happens when, he gets guilty and there's no riots. But we'll dive more in that in a second. But when I was thinking about that, my takeaway was, and actually I guess this can be a segue into it, is I thought that it was a rigged trial. And it's rigged from external and internal forces. Like, it's not just like, it was what I feared from the beginning could happen. I really didn't know what was going to happen, but my biggest fear was the jurors were going to fear for their lives, and they were just going to put them away and say guilty. They were afraid for their lives. They were afraid for the rest of the country burning. And, many people are calling them weak and cowardly, and I get that. I don't disagree with that. But on the other hand, I kind of understand where they're coming from. It's one of those things where it's like, I disagree, but I understand where you're coming from. Because if I was in that position, I would try to get off that as quickly as possible. I would not want to be a juror on that trial. Hell no. I would not want to touch that. And even an alternative juror came out and said, she said, I would have voted guilty. But then she said, I was afraid of, rioting and looting. I'm like, well, what do you really believe then? She wouldn't really say, but the mainstream media spun it as even she thought he was guilty. And then the right media was like, well, there's something else here. And
I felt like he was in the wrong. I felt like Derek Chauvin was in the wrong
for manslaughter.
I felt like that, but but when you put on a kangaroo show like that, it just doesn't, and circumvent due process. It's like it doesn't it not only does it it just undermines our judicial system, but it also even if people believe, even if the majority of the people believe that it's you'll have those people thinking, oh, look, he's innocent. Look, see, it was a rigged trial. They didn't do due process. What are they hiding? See, then you got real fucking conspiracy theorists that go and I'm not saying it one way or the other. What I'm saying is when you circumvent the legal process, it breeds discontent. It just breeds discontent. And I don't know. I mean, these are some dark days in our justice system. We are going through some dark fucking times.
It is dark because the thing I was realizing and around it, to connect to the previous point, was that I think our institutions, across the board, what's made me very sad is that I think Americans are going to realize at a certain point there's not a single institution they can trust. There's not a single institution that has their back. And when that happens, when people realize that, what are they going to do? I mean, they're going to go insane, and the only outcome is you're going to have to burn the system down, metaphorically. Maybe literally. That's what some people might do.
They are. The mob is burning the system down. It's already happening. The only solution, the only solution is either a civil war or a purge. So, those are the only two eventual outcomes.
There could be separation too.
Yeah, that's possible. But that. Oof. Separation. I think if you're separating, I think war is not too far from that one too. So
I've started to think that since 2016, maybe sooner, we've kind of been in a slow but soft Cold War with each other, because there was a time, even during Obama's term, where both sides could debate. We didn't agree, and there was nastiness and divisiveness, but there was room for debate. It seems like post 2016, there's just no room for debate. You would at least have some lefties like debate some right wingers on like YouTube, on campuses, like on a bunch of places. Yeah, would they be hard to get? Of course, but it would happen. It just doesn't happen now. It's like, you know, I don't I don't know like when the breaking point really was, but it's just like we've kind of almost like accepted that we're separate and we just live separately. Separate but unequal, I guess. It's just weird, and that's one of the black pills I've been having recently is that these institutions are so corrupt. They're beyond repair. And so I think there's going to come a point where people are just going to rise up and like I really don't know what's going to happen, because I think civil war is still a very far-fetched thing, but because most people just don't care. Most people are very lazy and just don't care about these things. So I don't know where it's headed.
They're not going to care until it happens to them, and then
Yes.
it's going to be like, oh shit. Many of these people by then that'd be too late, but
But at the same time, the other side to this is that it is the radicals. And I don't mean that in a negative connotation, but the radicals in terms of the people that are the street fighters, the people that are pushing the conversation, that are creating the conversation, they're pushing narratives, they're going to be the ones that would do the fighting. And maybe what happens is like you just have some people that try to take down certain institutions. Like you look at the French Revolution, you look at the revolution in Russia, the Red Communist Revolution with Lenin. Like I know it's very different times, but like there was just so much suffering, so much pain, that it came down to just brute force, like storming the government and taking it over. So
that's what's happening. I feel like that's what's happening. Like I think all of our institutions are compromised. All of them are
they
compromised.
are.
So there's nothing that's going. There's no civil discourse to fix what's going on right now. So
well, see,
what do you do?
why wasn't the right the ones doing any of this compromise? Like I've only heard of one place that had anything.
Oh, there's
like
a large
that.
chunk of the right that's compromised too. Look, they're
Well, no,
like
why aren't they the ones compromising the government like the left did with the what was that? It was like that German thing. It was like the Frankfurt School. Like, why didn't we have a right wing version of that? Like, what the fuck's the right doing? Why are we letting the left make all the plays?
Because the Republican establishment is stupid, lazy, and useless, because all they care about is money and power, whereas the left is all about domination and money and power. Like, there's just like two different games being played. With the Republicans, it's like they help out the big businesses, they help out the big corpos, and it's kind of like it's easy. But like with the left, it's like they have that in many ways. Like they're very similar in that regard, but they're more about like just totally destroying and changing the country, whereas the Republican establishment just doesn't care about that part. And like many people speculate where it comes from, like why the left wants to do this, and I think it's mostly they think the country is fundamentally like wrong, and they've been bullied as children, they've been like the outcasts in society, and it's like kind of like the inmates running the asylum, the, as Gavin McGinnis says, like the nerds and the bullied, like trying to get back at the bullies. I think there's some of that to it. I know that sounds like it's kind of more far-fetched, but when you see what type of people these are, they're blue-haired freaks, they're trannies, they're like all these other like, misfits, and we have our misfits and we love them, but their misfits are different. Like their misfits are people that like they want revenge, revenge of the nerds, that's what it kind of is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It might be something different, but like, because I've been at work like listening to stuff about the Russian Revolution. It's interesting seeing how that built and how Hitler rose to power too. And I mean, those are very extreme things, but it was because of extreme circumstances. They were both in times of great suffering, great poverty. And
I
America
think
hasn't felt that. Like, let's be real. We had a great recession. We really haven't had true suffering since the Great Depression.
I think we're going. I think we're going through the beginning stages of what communist China went through with the whole Red Revolution.
With Mao
And
Zedong.
and there's a lot of parallels between how that started and where we're at right now. So, and when you look at China having influence over almost everything in our society, like corporate, government, all that shit. I mean, they own the whole Democratic Party. They own a fairly good chunk of the Republicans, and I mean, it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't. It doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good.
Yeah.
And again, like that a lot of people like people are forgetting. Look, that Red China Revolution, a whole lot of people died during that fucking revolution.
Yeah, revolutions are
A
bloody.
whole lot, and it's not out of the. I don't think that's out of the question for us.
The only time I think that would happen is if America really went to like a third world country, because we have since World War II been a very, very, very posh country. Despite like the turmoils we've had nothing compared to like what the Russians went through.
Yeah. Let's give that one a couple of years, see how that turns out.
I don't see. Well, the thing is, I think it would take much longer for that to happen. I think it would take decades. Like, you'd have to have like, unless you had like, I think even if we had hyperinflation, it still really wouldn't get to that. Like, you need a lot to really destroy this country's wealth because we have so much of it. Like Russia, they didn't have a lot, and then so it doesn't. I won't say it doesn't take much to lose it, but it's like when you just have a few goats on your farm, and you're making by. Like, when something bad happens, you lose everything quickly. In America, I mean, same time, people do have a lot of credit card debt, not a lot in their savings. But even then, there's still a lot of wealthy people in this country.
Well, like, look at the wealth gap. Like, the wealth gap in Russia was, like, actually, like, a major problem. Like, over here, even the poor people have it better than most people in the world.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying, is that it would take a lot to put this country way down. Not saying that can't happen. I'm just saying it takes a lot.
Hyperinflation would do it. Hyperinflation would do it.
I don't think so, because...
Well, if we truly had real hyperinflation, yes. But what we're having, I don't think we're gonna reach those levels. We might have high inflation, but there's a difference between high and hyper. Hyper is like,
hyper is like kind of unlimited.
Well, hyper is like you go to the, you get your paycheck on, at like 8 a.m. and by the time you're done eating dinner, the price of the food that you just ate increased to like by an extra like $50,000. Like, that's hyperinflation, where you need to get wheelbarrows of money to go and pay for anything.
Well, I thought hyperinflation is where your money is essentially worthless.
Well, yeah, like, because you need wheelbarrows of money to go and pay for a fucking dinner.
If it happened literally that quickly, maybe we could reach those bad levels, but I think the government would find a way to fix it.
Well, yeah, like that. Like, see, that's like Zimbabwe had that issue, and like Zimbabwe, Venezuela. I don't think Venezuela was even that bad.
Well, I don't know if they had hyperinflation, but their money did become worthless.
So there's a couple of things that really do kind of negate that sort of thing. One of them being the cryptocurrency.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking about.
That's because you're banking on like hyperinflation means that fucking that currency, your country's currency is basically tanking.
Yes.
So as long as you leverage it with something commodities wise, like a cryptocurrency, or maybe something that you can quickly commoditize, and convert into, into cash or whatever. I mean, that really kind of changes a lot. Like there's methods for the US to basically ditch the dollar, like
If
they
it
don't have
needs
to
to.
like, yeah, if need be, yeah,
Yeah.
there's ways that, yeah, that you absolutely could.
Well, what's interesting with the cryptocurrencies is it's no surprise, but people don't pay attention to crypto that much because honestly, there's no point to really. But
Mhm.
it is something that's interesting to me. But one thing that is softly and slowly happening is that China's trying to buy up as much Bitcoin as possible. And people are speculating that China is trying to like mess with the US dollar through Bitcoin. And I mean, it's a lot of confusing economics, but like they're trying to mess with like and tank the dollar through it.
Mhm. But again, you can't, even if you tanked, even if you manipulated Bitcoin, there's other stuff out there. Like it's not like yeah. I mean, this is what you're saying. Like there's enough of other commodities out there where if you're smart and actually aren't a fucking idiot, you might be able to actually leverage your way around the US dollar. Like if it came down to that. I mean, really like how, like we need to start being a manufacturing and farming country again.
Yeah.
We're all that stuff has for the last 20 years has fucking dwindled. We need to go back to that. Like we started making headway when Trump was in office, and now, I mean, I'm like,
Now we're building
you
back
know,
better.
Biden's just giving his shit away like a whore. Like, and I
I don't
mean,
think he's. I don't think his brain's in there. I think he's just sort of
or
coasting like
I'm sorry,
other
Kamala.
people.
There you
Yeah,
go.
like
Harris.
Yeah.
that's who's running the show.
Yeah. Good. Good.
Yeah,
We had to correct you on that.
or Chairman Xi,
Yeah.
running the show.
Did you see when
Um,
Biden was in like the meeting for NATO with all these world leaders? He was the only one with a mask on a freaking Zoom call with world leaders.
What a fucking cuck.
Yeah, what a cock is right. Meanwhile, Putin is like center screen, like biggest
yeah.
screen on there. Chad pose, like Chad stance, and no mask on. Like they got the king right there.
Mhm.
It's just so bad. Like you have like Putin just like sitting there tall and mighty, big Chad, and then Biden's like virgin lean on his desk, and he's like got his mask on. It's like, dude, like what are you doing? You're in a Zoom call.
These Democrats fully elected anyone. Like he was really just the only person that wasn't fucking Trump, and that was
That's
what
what it came
happened.
down to, yeah. But it's just so pathetic. Like it's like this math thing is such a virtue signal. God.
Well, I mean, look, Trump stood up to China. China has again. China has in has influence over, again, the entire Democrat Party is compromised by China. You got the Republican Party
Yeah.
that's compromised by China. Like you got, like, I mean, and I mean that is the old China is the number one common denominator for why 2020 election happened the way it did. Like the ultimate common denominator. You've got like Georgia, right? The fucking all of them, all the people that are running Georgia are doing business with China, right? Governor, fucking, you know, I think, yeah, there's a couple of them. Anyway, um, a lot of these states, they were like, they're doing business in China. I'm surprised Texas has hung on as long as it did, because there's quite a few of them that are doing business in China, right? So, uh, I mean, it's bad. It's bad. We're headed, and obviously, obviously, we know about the Bidens, and I
Yeah.
mean,
Well,
I
I'm
mean,
worried too because, the one, positive and negative thing about our system is that it's slow. So the damage can be slow, but at the same time, there's other forces like big tech that are much quicker and can move much faster and have no government barriers in their way. So I worry about that, but I do worry about hyperinflation, especially after hearing big short guys saying, yeah, hyperinflation could happen, very likely chance. I'm like, oh shit. Like, it
I
scares
don't know
me.
how likely. I don't think it's that likely, but it could happen.
I don't think it's super likely either, but because again, the always biggest X factor is anything can happen. There can be a big change right around the corner. Like, who thought COVID was gonna happen and destroy everything? Nobody. Boom! It changed everything. So who knows what could happen? But I like I said though, I am worried that people lose faith in their institutions, where they realize there's nothing that backs them. No one's got their backs. What that means is where I'm concerned. I really don't know where it's heading. We know in history where things have gone before, but we still live in different times. I mean, so I don't know. I don't know. And I think the institutions will get destroyed, but it might, how they get destroyed is like kind of where I'm like, I don't know. Like, the traditional more primitive way is like you literally destroy it. You either burn it or like people come in and murder people. I think that's low likely. I think new institutions will come and hopefully replace them, and that's, they kind of put them out of business. Maybe that's what happens. I don't, for ones you can do that too, because there are a lot of ones you can't. Like, you can't just make another FBI to replace it unless there's like militias around the country, which, that could happen. We have Antifa.
Oh yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. But yeah, so speaking of the trials, we kind of pivot into like the bigger picture, deeper end of that. But on the surface level, he was guilty on all charges, and there was no rioting for the most part. What do we think of that decision, though? Like, I know we kind of just touched on it a little bit, but I personally think manslaughter was the appropriate thing to charge him with, because there were things that he could have done that were in the police protocol. Other than that, it's not murder. He wasn't out to kill George Floyd.
I mean, I think that the people probably did this. I don't think they actually did this so much about, what actually happened versus, that they knew they didn't want their towns to burn. Like, I really think this was one of those cases that people were prejudiced
Well, yeah,
going
I think it
into it.
was totally 100. I think part of it was bias going into it, but I think most of it was they feared for their lives, and it was mob rule in the end.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I think he should have maybe got. I don't know. Like, was it in? Did he follow the standard operating procedure, or was that abuse?
Well, supposedly, I think one of the things they were saying that he was supposed to do was roll George Floyd over so that he wasn't pressed down like that. And I think start doing CPR was another thing they said that he should have done. Like, that was part of the procedure when he stopped breathing to start doing CPR, and he never did that. That I think is valid.
Well, then maybe negligence. I don't think manslaughter would have been appropriate, in my opinion. But I'm not. I just don't think you can really even try a case that is that politicized.
Well,
Like,
that's the
unless
thing
you
too. Is
literally
like,
find someone living under a rock.
well, I don't even think they should have done it in a city. Like, I think that was the problem too. Like, those high profile cases are tricky. I think one thing that we need to do post these things, and unfortunately it's like really hard to do because people can film stuff, but there are cases where this doesn't happen, is the officer's name should not be made public. I think that's a thing we should do going forward, because there's some of these cases where it will happen at night at like a freaking traffic stop, and so there's no like witnesses that film it happening. There's just the body cam footage. Those officers, you could hide their names, and then we wouldn't have crazy shit hopefully happening. But with like this one, it started because somebody filmed and put it on Facebook, so the cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, we need to find like some literally like fucking boomers. Not boomers, but like even older than that who are already in nursing homes who like don't watch the news or whatever.
Bruh, that's what they always do, is watch the news. They just sit in their big armchair and just watch the news and bitch about things.
I really don't know. I really don't know how you would deal with this. So, but what they did, like I don't know. I feel like there could be a mistrial or an appeal.
He's already appealed it.
And I think there's a good chance that he could get an appeal for that, because I think didn't one of those people say that they considered that like, hey, I don't want my city to burn, like when the jurors said something weird like that, and just them saying that potentially throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but one of the alternate jurors said that, and that's not a juror that was actually on the stand, like deciding it. It was like a backup juror, like in case, I don't know, something happened to the other jurors, they throw them in.
Yeah, I just I don't know. It's one of those things. I just don't know if they're gonna be able to.
Bro, what's happening with your mic? It's like it sounds like it's hyperventilating.
I'm on my phone.
Oh.
I'm not at my house. So I'm on the travel.
On
the phone's microphone.
How is your travels?
Oh no, it's been good. I was going, down over here to the test driving vehicles again.
Oh, did you test drive anything new?
No, like here, like I did another WRX, but this time I didn't have that dude with me, and like I was just doing it by myself. And I clipped
they
off.
let you test drive a car alone?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I
did that before with another car. But like this time he let me, like, since no one was there, just turned off the traction control, and when I did that, I don't know, like it put like track mode on and actually made the steering like decent. So I was like, that completely changed my opinion on the base WRX. I was like, that was my one complaint with it. My one major complaint was the the steering felt like shit, but when you turn off the traction control, it's actually decent. So it's like,
Are you is it a high consideration now?
Oh yeah, it's back on the table. It's like that means looks like meat's back on the table, boys.
That sounds gay. I imagine somebody taking their sausage out, just smacking it on the table.
Like I remember that one. It was like, it was like the cats when the vegan dies, like the vegan owner dies. Looks like meat's back on the table, boys.
Yes.
God, no, but it was fun. I test drove like a Jetta, and it was a nice looking car, but like I want a sports car, man. I'm young.
The Jetta is sporty.
No.
Oh wait, sorry. The not the Jetta. The what's it called? The Golf.
No, the Super. Oh yeah, the Golf was, but I didn't test. They didn't have one there.
Why were you driving the Jetta?
Because I was at the one dealership and it was the only thing they had with a 6-speed transmission.
You gotta find the what's it called? The Golf.
Golf R.
Yeah.
Like I found one that was automatic, but I was like, I ain't dealing with that shit. I don't care about them flappy paddles, man. That ain't my style. Those little flappy pussy, those little like labia lips.
Flappy Bird.
Yeah, I was thinking like fucking pussy lip paddles. And the pussy paddle, it's like the Chad 6, the Chad like
the Chad stick. Versus the
Just
Virgin
as a
flap.
versus the pussy flap versus the Virgin automatic.
You
Dude,
hate.
I've seen these. Dude, I was looking at these cars, man. Some of these transmissions, like these automatic ones, look retarded. Like
Wait, how do they look retarded? You don't see them.
my dad's like van for work has a dial. Like I honestly, I almost got confused. Like I was seeing with him, I was about to go and try. I was trying to adjust the volume. I
Oh, is
almost
it one of
went
the
and changed.
knob ones?
Yeah, that's the most stupidest shit I've ever seen. And
No,
then I was at
those are
this.
stupid. My car, it's like it's one of the ones where it's in the center console like a stick, but you're using it to change, drive, neutral, all that shit. I like the ones where it's in I think it's called stock, the steering wheel stock, and it's like
It's a column shifter.
column. Yeah, yeah. I like that style because it gives you more space in the center console for your stuff.
I don't know. Like that was always with like truck trans, like automatic like truck or like my mom's old minivan had that. I was never a big fan of that. I had nothing wrong with the one that's where the regular where your transmission usually is. I didn't have a problem with that. But then we start getting dials and like
I hate
this
that.
one, like the one some of these transmissions look like an ass plug. Like it was like a small, it
You
was like a
would know
small
what
like
that looks like.
it was like a small like nubby thing. Like it was just like, dude, why they? And then one of them, it was like a combination of the dial and the ass plug. It was no, it looked like a computer mouse over a dial. I'm like, what the fuck am I even touching with this? Like, how does this even work?
Did it
Like,
make you like
it's not that
10%
hard.
gayer after using it?
I never used it. I just looked at it. I was like, I felt stupider for looking at this. Like, why do they make shit like this? Like, I can like actually like the flappy pads. If you're gonna do an automatic, like that's probably the way to go. Because at least you feel like you're a race car driver. It's not that hard to add that. But like otherwise, just do the center count, the console shifter. Don't
I've
do
grown
these
not to
like
like that because it just takes up so much space. It's so unnecessary and extra.
it's not bad. I don't. It's not that much extra space.
It's a
You know,
lot. No, it's a lot of space, dude. It takes up like on mine, it takes up like a good like 5-7 inches. It could like literally could give you two extra cup holders.
well, no, see, like it makes sense why they used to do it too. Is like when they had their like the manual transmission cars, because it would go in the same space. Like I could see that. I mean, you could.
Yeah.
And they did have like way back in the day. They had like your, three on the tree. You could do shit like that. And my dad's old car, it was like his old van, like before they did I guess it would have been the SUV maybe, and it was like it was the automatic shifter was like on the dashboard as a
Oh
col like
yeah,
as
yeah. I've
like
seen they do that in minivans a lot, where it's like right in the dash. I don't like that. It's weird.
well, see, I think what was that the Integra I think had a manual transmission. It was something similar to
What?
that.
That's
Uh,
weird.
I think yeah, it was like something really weird. It was like a really short shift, right? I always want to drive one of those. That'd be a fun
That's something
car
the
to
French
screw
would
around
do.
with.
If you
It
look at
wasn't
my
French, it was
screen,
Acura. Acura's not French.
yeah, I
That's
know, I
not.
know, I know. I know it's Japanese. I said that's something the French would do, though. I'm
Oh yeah.
surprised the Japanese would do that.
Well, it makes sense because it's less shift distance, but like it just seems awkward to me. Like I like my 6 speed will be right over there. I can put my hand, it's not that far away from the armrest. It's easy, but like, and the Jetta really wasn't that bad. It just wasn't a fast car. It was, I mean, it wasn't like slow, but it wasn't like fast. It was like kind of boring,
Well, it is a
you know.
Jetta. Like it's supposed to be like an average sedan.
It was a 1.6 liter turbocharged engine, or engine. Probably got, but the car was so fucking heavy too, because the guy was like, oh, and it had that stupid electronic parking brake. And then he was like, "Oh yeah, because of this, they dropped 1,600 pounds." I looked at the weight, and the car was still 4,000 pounds. I'm like, "Geez, that's a fucking fat car." Like my Acura is like I think 3,200 pounds, and that was pretty heavy.
A lot of cars are around 4,000 now. And a lot do
Yeah.
have that brake shit.
Well, those, the cars that do that, those are usually like SUVs that are that heavy. Like not usually sedans, unless you're like like a Cadillac. I could see that. But I guess it's all these stupid fucking what you call it, these crash test bullshit things that
The
they add
safety
to it.
stuff, yeah.
That's what made them fat. Like, see, like 90s, that was like peak, like that was right around the time where like the performance was really getting there, like the late 90s, like in early 2000s. Either performance was decent, the cars were lightweight, you could still get like, wasn't everything wasn't electronic, things would last. Like that's why I really do like the late 90s, early 2000s. You didn't need to like the cars weren't getting like insane horsepower like 600 horsepower Corvettes and shit like that. But you could still get like you got a V8, you could still be getting like 300 horsepower, which honest to God, like for the street, I think like 300 horsepower is really all you really need
Yeah.
for the street.
Can
You
barely
know?
use it anyway.
Oh yeah, like I had fun with the STI. And in the Super WRX, I feel like that's upper, it's like 268 horsepower. It was geared properly. It's good. Like my car right now, it's like 200 and like when it was made, it was probably like 250 horsepower. Now being like, 10 year, like over 10 years old, like 14, 15 years old, it's probably getting closer to 200 horsepower, maybe 210, 220. But it's still good. It gets up and goes, you know like when you start getting like really low, it's not fun either. Like, cause I got that like Hyundai for my girlfriend, and that it's not like like it's a little screamer engine, it'll
Is it a
go up there. It's
four-cylinder?
not. Yeah, it's a four cylinder. It's like a 1.6 liter Hyundai. Like it's an economy car, you know,
Dude,
but
those
it doesn't.
four-cylinders, because that's what I think, my car's a four-cylinder too. It sounds like it's working so hard. It's like really working. And then you're like at 25 and it feels like it's about to explode. I'm like, this little engine's working so hard and getting so little power out of it.
Oh yeah, that was like my girlfriend's car. Like I put my foot to the floor. You hear,
Yeah.
and then and I was trying to get to like 45. Like, see, with my car, I would have been probably at like 80,
Yeah.
with that shit. And that's what I love the like 6 cylinders. I do like those engines. I think
Yeah,
they're
me
good,
too.
especially like an inline six, which I
Yeah.
don't have because that's a very long engine. Like those things are like perfectly balanced. A regular V6 isn't bad either, but like I don't know, it feels a lot like I don't know. I don't really care for everything's like an i4 now. I don't like that. Like at least with a Subaru, you had that turbo. You could hear that turbo spool, and
Yeah, yeah.
it's not as like the WRX has that gurgle thing. I love that shit. But like at least for the base WRX, you got that spool. That's better than nothing. It's better than like the like beta version, inline four non-turbo or like pussy turbo, where it's like, but like it's not like the best. Like my car doesn't even make that much noise until like unless I really like let it go. And it can. Like if I go into the real high RPMs, it'll make a noise, but it's not like the Virgin scream. It's like the Chad, like "Arrgh." The
Versus
V8, like
Scream
man,
versus
that's
the
actually.
Chad growl.
Oh, the V8, like oh yeah, that does like the super Chad. That's like the ultimate, like oh
No,
man,
no, no,
but
no, no,
I love it.
no. That's a V12 or a V10. That's the ultimate
Oh
Chad.
no, those things are like like the mad screams, like the deep screams
Well,
when you
no,
get
they
to like that.
sometimes can be. I mean, like a lot of Lamborghini, it's because they tune them. Like the Lamborghinis that way can be a little like angry, but the Ferraris are usually pretty good.
They have a good noise. I like their noise. I mean, you get anything like that,
Yeah.
you're making good noises. But like that's the thing too. And then I think VW was caught like with some of their engines, they'd make it sound like they'd actually put speakers in the car when you hit so it would make it sound better than it was actually sounding.
Oh God.
It was like beta noises,
Beta noises.
like super beta prostate.
When your car's so beta, you gotta like inject it with soy sounds to make it better.
Yeah, like see like with a Tesla or something, or an electronic car that doesn't make any sound, I could see that because you need to have something.
Well, some
But
people have
like
been like modifying electric cars to make like V8 noises in them.
I can see it. Like at least with that, you should have some sort of noise, like especially if there's like a deaf person. You probably want to tell them, "Hey, buddy, there's a car coming." And some of them
Well,
are really,
if they're deaf, they're not gonna hear
or not that I meant like a blind person.
it. Yeah.
No, but like I don't know, like the Jetta really wasn't that bad, but it's like a commuter. It was, like it wasn't a luxury car, but it was like,
What's a Jetta? It's
well,
not. It's a Volkswagen. It is not gonna be a luxury car.
well, they're not luxury, but they're more luxurious than like, like a Hyundai.
Yeah, they're a step up. Yeah, but
Like
they're
it definitely like it was like a step below luxury. I feel like
to me,
it was actually
Volkswagen
pretty.
is very average.
It was nice. Like I think VW is like the iPhone of the car world.
No, no,
It's like the
Tesla
Apple.
is. Tesla
It's
is.
the Apple of the car world.
No, 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 no. It's not clean. It's not slick. It's not expensive
Dude,
enough.
they're pretty slick. They're pretty expensive
No, no. Tesla.
for
Tesla.
what you're getting. I mean, well,
Tesla.
iPhones aren't even that like they have the cheaper ones you can get now. Like
Bro, you
that's the
bitch
whole
about how
VW line. Like
expensive Apple is. They're expensive.
VW is like the cheaper iPhone. Then like you go up to your Audis, and that's like up there, and then you get your really expensive ones. That's your Porsche. That's the whole line.
Okay,
Like
I can buy
it's
that
still like not.
analogy.
It's a different. Like Tesla, no one, like only a handful of people even buy those. It's not popular enough to be like
But
Apple.
it is very much the Apple, the car market. The way they do things is very Apple. Their design, their CEO, their everything is very Apple.
But they're not. Well, Volkswagen designs aren't bad either. Like they're pretty slick.
Well, they're
It's
decent, but they're
like,
very boring. Like Apple designs aren't boring. They're elegant. They're
dude, I see
simple.
an iPhone just looks like a black brick.
They're beautiful
It just looks like
devices.
just a black. Is this just a black brick you talk to people on and do your games? You
Well,
know.
have you? Because I know you're traveling. Have you checked for all the dealerships on the way so you can drive a Golf? Because I think that's what you definitely need to do. Is get into a
What was
Golf.
the Golf R?
Well, they
No,
don't
the
make the
Golf
R
R.
anymore. I think it's the GTI. Is your
Yes, they do. They
no?
still
I'm
make
on their
the
site.
guy said they had the Golf. They had a Golf R there that was an automatic.
Really, I don't see a Golf R anywhere on their site.
I think it's a special.
Well, it's There's a GTI. That's like the hot rod version of the Golf.
Yeah, it's not really their hot rod. Like that's their. I don't know. That's like your Focus ST. That's not like I don't know. Like I think I'll probably get a Subaru. That's they're one that like because that's the one thing I'll give Volkswagen too. They still make manual transmission cars. There's like VW and Subaru. They're the two big ones. Honda, you can get them, but you have to kind of custom more to those. And Mazda, you can still get them in the Miata. And if you're gonna get a Miata, you're gonna want it manual. Like I really do. If I could actually fit in one of those, I'd probably enjoy them.
The Miata is
But
poor people's sports car to me. It's like if anything, you'd get a Mustang.
it is the no, but it's you don't want the V8. It's a nice. It's like the ideal British sports car.
It's
It is like
Mazda.
the
It is
evolution.
not British. It's whatever.
I know it's like it is
Oh,
like
I see.
like that concept, like your MG midget. It is the evolution
Yeah,
of
but I
that.
don't like those cars. I really don't.
If you're liking British, if you're quote unquote liking British, like the one thing the British actually did decent was like
Music.
I did like them. It's like a MG midget without all the gremlins and the electric box.
The British did music well. They did
It's
style
a
well. They did TV well. They did movies well. They did plays well. They did world domination pretty well for a certain degree.
and then they
But
got fucked and they let it go away.
but cars,
I
very
like.
scattered history, very mixed bag.
Well, I think that like I don't know. I do like the Miata for it. It's a fun little car. You can have you can go and screw around with. It's not some like V8 gas guzzler. You could, if you lived in a nicer climate, you could realistically drive. It could be a daily driver if I didn't have to deal with snow, or at least a summer car, and then you have like a winter beater.
I think they're
You know,
bringing back the Golf R, is what I'm seeing, because there is no Golf R you can get now. The last one was in 2019, but there's going to be a 2022 one, and I don't know if that's going to be available in the States, but that's the only one I'm seeing online, and I don't see that
I
on
might
their
just get,
website.
might just get the damn, might just get the damn WRX because
That's what
honestly, that was probably
feels like you're leaning towards.
well, because like the STI is just way too expensive. Like they want way too much money for it, or I have to get a used one, and God knows how people beat to those to shit.
Mm-hmm.
I beat that to shit when I test drove it. Like I can see why people want to go and fuck around with it. You have to be careful. It's like buying a used Jeep. You have to be real careful. You don't know where it's been. It's like picking up a homeless girl.
Homeless girl.
Oh
Now,
yeah,
are you gonna get
like
a new WRX, or
probably gonna get a new one. I mean,
what
I
color?
got the. I don't care about that shit.
Well, you gotta
Not
choose.
black.
There's gray
I,
metallic, there's pure red, there's blue pearl, lapis
I
blue
like
pearl, white,
I like
silver, and
I like
black.
their Subaru. I like the Subaru blue, but like I also know that people like I could see the silver one just so I can like evade the police. I don't want to attract attention.
Oh, you will.
That's
Yeah,
the thing. But if it's in like
the silver one's pretty cool. The one thing I don't like about, I know you're not too finicky about design, but that fucking scoop in the hood is so stupid looking.
no, I like that. That's how you know it's like powerful.
Oh,
It's like
really?
it's like a guy. It's like a car is puffing out its chest. Like yeah, buddy.
No, 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 no,
You wanna,
no.
you wanna,
If you want to know if a car is powerful, it has a stripe on it. This does
oh
not have a
yeah,
stripe on it.
that's not American. That's an American thing.
That's
You
such an
know
American thing. Oh, you want to know what I saw today, actually? I didn't tell you this.
what?
When I was at the gas station, and I was fueling up at British Petroleum, and I think the only time I've seen one of these before is when I was with you at the Pittsburgh Auto Show. I'm checking my pictures, see if no, I did. Oh, it was one of the older ones. I saw my first ever of the the new generation Ford GTs.
Oh shit, dude. Speaking of that, that was funny you mentioned that.
Did you
When I was
see
at the
one?
Honda dealership, I saw a Shelby GT 350 there,
Oh,
and then I looked at that and I said, "See dealer for price." And I was like, hey, what's the price? And I was like, yeah, it's like 50 grand. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. I'm not buying that shit. I mean, it'd be fun, but like 500 horsepower, my insurance would be expensive, and I'd end up in a ditch with a. It, I mean, it's a Shelby, so it's not quite but I mean, it's modern Shelby Mustang, so it's mostly Mustang. So I'd
well,
probably be hitting a crowd of people.
oh yeah. Well, my uncle has a Shelby GT 500 that he's like upgraded a shit ton, so that has like an insane amount of horsepower. But they are well built now. Before they were not. I don't care if people say like, "Oh, it's a classic." Yeah, it's a classic hunk of junk. Like
Well, dude, like Carroll Shelby, like used to actually make them. I think he used to like hand make them back in the day, like when he actually did
Well,
it.
yeah, yeah, and the Shelbys were better, but like the traditional Mustangs, the people like, oh, they're so classical. I'm like, no, they were kind of not well built. American
Well,
muscle
dude, like
cars in general weren't.
Mustangs aren't even really muscle cars. They're a pony car.
Yeah,
Now
technically.
when you start to get like some of their special editions, like like the GT 350 would classify as a muscle car,
Yeah.
but your average like even Mustang GT probably wouldn't. Although like nowadays, you need to think too. Like right now, we're in like this horsepower renaissance. Like back in the like up until like pretty recently, like it was hard to find cars with over 300 horsepower. Now, like even the freaking Camaro, I think can get like 400 horsepower. The Corvette can probably, I think, get like 600 something like ridiculous like that.
Yeah. No, the
Like
Corvette, you get a
you
lot of
can get
bang
some,
for
and
your
then
buck.
what?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, well, I was saying with the Corvettes now, you get a lot of bang for your buck.
Yeah, but like I don't know, man. Like I don't want to deal with that like mid-engine shit.
Mid-engine's the way to go with sports cars, honestly.
I mean, that's like gonna be a pain in the ass to work on everything. You get the frunk.
Frunk, yeah, man.
It's like
Tesla's
a
have
fanny
that.
pack. Well, yeah, but Tesla it makes sense. It's electric car. You don't really have an engine, but like, God for yeah, you don't have any actual trunk though. Like I think Tesla has a trunk too.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, you got both of those, but like I just hate the frunk. And like for the price you're paying, and they don't even have it in manual anymore either. That pisses me off. I'm not paying for that shit.
Yeah. So yeah, I think honestly, I think you're gonna end up getting that WRX.
That's probably what I'm gonna get. Just because, like, unless I can find like a decent used like Audi or something, so I would pick up one of those. Because I do like the touches of luxury. I
Mm,
I do enjoy that. Like that's what I like about my Acura. It's not, it's not like a super luxury car, but it's like around that BMW level of, you know, mid tier, like early luxury.
well, that's the thing
Like
I will say about the Subarus, like, because I know there's a whole WRX crowd and STI people. The things I've never liked about those type of cars, it's like there's no sense of like quality interiors. Like I'm looking at the WRX and it's like all plastic. There's like no wood. There's not even any metal pieces. It's just plastic, and that's fine. I get like some people, it's fine for. I get for me, it doesn't bother me a lot because I mean that's how my car currently is. It's just all plastic, but it's just very, you know, you can tell the money's not in the interior, and I get it, but it
oh,
is what it
dude,
is.
that's what I loved about my like Acura, man. Like everything's like that soft touch material.
Yeah.
And it's got like it feels nice. The doors have a bit of a weight to it.
Yeah.
It feels it's cool, but that car's getting old, and it needs to go out to the pasture soon.
You're gonna take it
It's got
out and bang.
like 210,000 miles on it, man. It ain't gonna be around too much longer,
Oh
and that's
God.
the thing.
Look at
I wanna get it. Hmm?
Did you see that the WRX can come with one of those like gay little knobs for like your sport mode?
Oh, that's STI.
Oh yeah, it is STI. Yeah,
Dude,
sorry.
and that's special. Like, I actually kind of like that because you can adjust a different. Like, there's one below, and you can adjust the differential on there, and like that thing's functional. Like, that is a functional that's like a strip rally car. Like that STI. Like WRX is perfectly fine for what I'd probably be using it for, but the STI, man, I would I'd have to take that to the track or something because like to really go and let it loose, man, you need to have you know, some sort of place to fuck around.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
But
like,
that Ford GT, like when I saw it in person, I first thought it was a McLaren because where the BP is it's on that same road that the McLaren dealer is on. And so I was like, is that a McLaren? Is that Ford GT? Like, I can't tell. Because I first saw it as a Ford GT and I was like, oh shit. But looks more like a McLaren. So I drove by it and I saw the giant buttress, as they call it, in the back, where it was like open scoops. You know how it has that with the Ford GT, the new one,
oh
and
yeah,
it's just like I mean I've always really liked the original design, and then like the second generation they did in like the early 2000s. Like I thought that was cool, but like this new one, like it's cleaned up in some ways, which I like, but it's the back just kills it for me because it's so just like empty. It's like weird. I just don't
oh yeah.
like it.
I think the second generation Ford GT is probably the best.
I agree
Like
100%.
the first one was, I think, just like I think they only made a handful of them.
Well, because it was a
I
race
think when they
car. Like it was for the iconic Ford v Ferrari race. Like it wasn't meant to be a road car. Whereas the second one was like, oh, it's the race car you all love that's now a road car.
Oh yeah, but like it's a lot. You can actually get one of those and drive down the street.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, that's what I liked about it. Like it is like that. That is like real. That is one of the best things Ford ever made. You
100%.
know,
Yeah, it
like
probably
it's
is
that
the
sexy
best thing
sort
they
of
ever
look.
made.
Like that two-seater. Like I do love two-seaters. Like I mean, like the S2000. If I could have jumped on that one, 'cause I test drove one. It was like 10 grand. It was an R title though, so I probably wouldn't have been able to get it. But like man, Those are fun cars. You can just go and like rev the shit out of those. Like they go up to I think like something crazy. It was like 8,000 or so RPM. You could just have fun. And it was a convertible two-seater. Like see that is like the Chad Miata.
Yes.
And I could fit in there, and it actually had a Honda engine, so it's powerful for what it was. It was like a 2 liter. I think the original one was like a 2 liter engine that got like 240 horsepower.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. 2.2 liter four cylinder, 237 horsepower.
It was something, it was up there. It was for a non-turbocharged. No turbo needed with that shit.
Those see, but again,
And
like for me,
it
those
would have been
sort
a
of,
fun car.
I bet it is. Just those sort of cars, though, just don't really do anything for me because they're very plain, very blah. Like there's no interior. It's like I don't know. It's
Although that one I was in had like a leather. It was like a leather interior. I mean, it was fun. It was a convertible, and it wasn't a big fat V8 convertible. It was a lightweight 4 cylinder, like really screaming engine, you know. And you could handle that thing had great handling. Like that was like you could do some racing stuff with that. It was a fun car. It was a fun car, and it was not like it was honestly I actually I really did like that Honda leather that they used for that.
yeah.
They did a decent job with that. Compared to like even the leather I was in the one WRX, I didn't really care too much for their leather. Their cloth was cloth. It doesn't excite me. It doesn't make my PP hard or anything, but
What do you think you're gonna go with the WRX? Are you gonna go with the leather or the cloth?
depends what I can get them down. Like I was trying to go and negotiate with them because, I thought they were being too hard. They wanted 31,000. Like, okay, buddy, can we do anything over here? And they barely dropped the fucking price. They sucked, and they were complaining they can't sell those. They have a hard time selling those WRXs as well.
Well, I
They
wonder
say
why.
shit like, well, they say shit like that, but then they don't budge on the price. Like, okay,
Yep.
buddy, here I'm gonna go and let that one sink with him. Just let it linger there. It's like, and then they'll call you. Like I had, like when I was at the VW dealership, I test drove the one Camaro there, and they actually, they just sent me an email, the price drop for it. I don't want that, but I could. Like that was a fun car too. Like, but I just don't live in a climate and I live on a hill. It just wouldn't work out for me.
Yeah.
That's my thing. If I didn't live where I live, if I lived like somewhere like a Florida or like, somewhere sort of south, I could do something like that.
Is a WRX all wheel?
Yes. The only thing that's made with Subaru that's not all wheel is the BRZ. Which that's that'd be a fun car too, but it's rear wheel drive.
Yeah, I think what you want, I think the WRX is gonna be the best.
Oh yeah, like I do like the BRZ. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dealing with that in the Western PA winters.
Mm-hmm.
And living on a hill. Gotta take that into consideration.
Are you gonna get one of those spoilers on the back?
Well, I thought it was stupid they had those, but then after my incident, I was like, I can see why they have these.
But do they actually do anything on these cars,
Yeah,
or is it just for
they
show?
give you more. No, they give you traction.
Well, I
Like,
know
at
that's
least
what
for
they're
that.
supposed to do, but do they actually?
It probably does. Like aerodynamics, yeah. I mean, the thing with the spoiler though is you put that on your car, that's gonna lower your gas mileage.
That's true.
That's the point of it. You're generating more drag. However, with the STI, I don't think it would matter worth a shit. You're already getting like 16 city and like 22 highway, so it's like, who gives a shit?
Well, the WRX you get 27 highway and 20 city.
Yeah, that's true. Like that's roughly what I'm getting right now, so it's we'll see. I'll see how that goes. Yeah, that's what I'm leaning. I'm leaning towards that now because nothing really. I just had such a hard time finding vehicles that I like.
Yeah.
They're all leaving, and it's the only like new vehicle that fits that niche that isn't like like a BMW or something.
Have you tried
And
any
I just
Beamers?
no, I do not trust them.
I don't either,
They're
but might as well.
oh yeah, I have to figure out where the fuck the dealership is. I think there might be one near me.
What manuals do they
Like there's
even make?
oh BMW makes something. I know they do. I think they even said they'd keep making those. Like they're one of those companies because that's who they market it towards. That's part of their identity. So like Porsche, they still make manuals,
Yeah.
but that's out of my price range for now. Maybe in a few years I'll buy a used one because they probably won't have any non-electric cars at that point. Mm.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of the Beamers do have manuals.
That's the one thing I like about them.
You get
They do appeal towards that, but their reliability is sus. And I do like their interiors and their price point's a little bit on the high side. I mean, I could handle it. I could handle their price point. And then it's like a lot of them are gonna be rear wheel drive, which for me right
yeah.
now it would be a problem.
That's always been a big thing with BMWs is they love rear wheel drive. It's like I
Oh, I
don't.
I love it. It's just I can't I can't deal with that.
They've
Like
also
right
been.
now.
Have you noticed that their car has been getting really ugly recently with these ginormous grills? Like, look at this thing. It's like disgusting.
They're pretentious. They're like, lawyer cars,
Yeah. But look
like
at this here.
early lawyers.
Look at that thing.
Let me take a look. D post in the checks. See that.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't
Let me
see the
copy this
YouTube stream.
image. Yeah, I've got you on your phone. Let me post in Chads. This is disgusting.
Absolutely disgusting. Let me take a look. It doesn't bother me that much.
It's
I like it.
disturbingly gross.
Got buck teeth.
Yeah. Yeah, they are like buck teeth. Well, because their grills used to be like shorter. Now they're like making them huge. Like that looks just awful. Just absolutely awful. I'm very picky with design, if you can't tell. That's what I
You're
love
that
about
marketing, right?
Teslas. They're like simple, clean, and elegant, like Apple.
Man, they don't need any grills either because they're electric. They don't need to worry about air intake.
Yeah, I
No, I
know.
can see the point of having that extra air intake though. Like that makes sense why you'd like that. And that's why like Subaru has that like little hood scoop, which apparently is functional.
Yeah, well, I bet
Because
it
when
is, but it just looks silly to me. Like, I just don't like the look of those sort of things.
let's yeah, see if BMW made they made like an all-wheel drive car that's not a supercar, that'd be pretty fun.
Well, see, the problem with BMW that I'm seeing very quickly is they are way out of your price range. The cheapest sedan starts at 41,000.
That's
Starts.
not that far away from that's not that far away from a what you call it from a S like if I got the STI limited that would be under that price actually.
Yeah, but that's like the top of the top of the top of the line of Subaru. You know.
Oh yeah, that's the 3 Series.
Yeah.
What
There's
I
the
got.
2 Series. It's a coupe. Well, they call it a coupe, but it's 4-door, and it's 35,000.
Oh, they do have an all-wheel drive on that 330i. Ooh.
That's probably expensive though.
Details. It's actually slow, but it's slower than the fucking Subaru.
Jesus.
But it gets pretty decent gas mileage. Let's take a look. I could probably let's see. Sport line standard. Okay, let me design this shit, you motherfucker. No, I don't care about that. Keep going, buddy.
See, what I would love to get for like a fun small car for like the weekends would be like an Alpha of the whatchamacallit, the 4C Spider. To me, that's a very cool, unique car. Probably will break down every time you try to use it, but it's really cool. It's really expensive. But
Tell me if this is automatic or manual. That's the thing that pisses me off.
That's
Give
annoying.
me that option, buddy. sport line, blah blah blah. You're not telling me if this is. Not telling me if it's fucking manual or automatic. Let me look, buddy. Let me look, you biatch. Oh, this thing have the weird cuck steering wheel. This one, yeah, this is a weird one.
Oh god.
Not cuck steering wheel, the
Well,
cuck
what's the
thing.
cuck steering wheel look like?
No, not the cuck steering wheel. I meant the transmission.
Oh, it's one of those stupid
The
knobs.
cuck transmission. This wasn't a knob.
Here, I'll look it up. Is it you said it's a 350i or something? What?
There's a 330i.
330i. Okay. I'm trying to find a picture so I can look at that. It's just a 3 series though, I presume, right?
Yeah, it's the all-wheel drive version.
All
All right,
right.
let's look up models. X1, X2, X3, X4. Jeez, that's a fucking stupid one. The X. Okay, let's look at. There's a 3 series. Ooh, the M model.
Oh god, yeah. You know what that stands for? Money. Just,
Yeah, I mean that's Z4.
I remember Jeremy Clarkson would always make fun of that because they put M badges like everywhere in the fucking car.
No, the Z4 is actually not. That looks like it'd be a fun 2-seater.
Oh my god, Elon Musk just tweeted out, let's find out how live Saturday Night Live really is. Let's go. He's gonna be on it in May with Miley Cyrus. Let's go. Papa Elon.
Which show?
I can't find the cucked thing that you saw.
Which BMW has manual transmission? Let's go, buddy.
I thought the 3 Series did.
M3 and M4 core models, which features. What year was it? Alright.
What are you gonna do when manuals are extinct from all new cars?
It'll be a sad by use. It'll be like the year I'm gonna be going to my retirement home. I'll be like, oh man, I still got that. I'll be like ordering fucking gasoline to my house through like a drone or something because they won't sell it anymore. It'll be like $20 a gallon.
Oh, I see it on the Beamer. It's like right next to the stick. It's got one of those knobs. Oh, look at that. It's like touch wheel. You know, I love when they call them touch wheels. Sounds so pretentious. Oh, we got a touch wheel. Oh, a touch wheel. Oh.
Take a look. Give me a look at your models, buddy. M4, M3.
Gay MW. The BMW i4 is electric. Ooh, how much is it?
I can still get an Aston Martin Vantage.
Yo, let's
with a
go.
manual. Oh, BMW 2 Series. Let's look at that.
Yeah, I was looking at that one. I thought it, when I googled it, said it was manual.
It is. Okay, I want the all-wheel drive in the manual.
Yeah, you should get an Aston. Iconic luxury British sports car.
Yeah, I'll just I'll put on my credit card.
I should have got my new credit card this week. I didn't get it yet.
2 Series Coupe. How much is that?
Which models do they make anymore for Aston? The DBX. Oh god, they make an SUV. Fuck. They all do that stupid shit. The Aston Martin Valkyrie. Now that's a badass name, Valkyrie. DBS Superleggera. That thing's ugly. DB11. Yeah, that thing's pretty chad. Vantage. Yeah, it's kind of ugly. Yeah, the DBs are always pretty nice.
They do have the manual transmission, man. That's Go and talk to my one ex coworker. See if he can do some shit.
For the Beamer.
Yeah, I think that's what he drew.
Yeah.
Oh, this is actually 37 grand.
Jesus.
I'll buy one.
I know Audi, BMW, all these are putting their electric cars on their homepages now. Like it's like the first thing they show off.
Well, yeah, because I mean, for I don't know, like for luxury, I could see it because there's no noise.
Well, and it's also like it's in that price range at where electric cars are right now. They're still not affordable yet, but they're in that sort of mid to luxury range is where they've gotten the price down to. 2022 is going to be a big year for electric. Let's see, what are our prices on these though? Yeah, see, it's still hovering around that 40 grand mark. Yeah, that's what I thought. And then more. e-tron GT.
I do not want the money whoop transmit. Tell me this is what is this XI drive? What the X drive?
XXX drive.
Oh, it is their all-wheel drive system. So that would be all-wheel drive. Ooh.
Oh yeah, all-wheel drive.
Would still be less horsepower than the Subaru.
What is the most Chad car you could drive?
Oh man, they would probably be a Challenger.
Yo, a Demon.
Oh my god, just get something so fucking ridiculous like just like that's a peak American car, just so much excess.
I think the Demon is peak American because that thing literally jumps off the ground when you fucking hit the accelerator. Do they still make the Demon?
I thought that, I don't know, but I think they have like the Hellcat like red eye like fat. It was like the fat something package or whatever. The wide body.
Yeah.
It was like a couple horsepower short of the Demon, but it's like 70 grand.
The more I think about it, I think you were right. Like, I remember they made fun of Hammond for his Challenger, but like, it is the most American car, so it's the most Chad. The Chargers used to look so badass, and then they made this ugly ass thing.
Oh, I don't mind that. I don't like. See, I don't know. I mean, I just don't care. I don't care about those, silly boys. It's just silly.
What do you mean?
Those, I don't know, the Challenger. It's so, I don't know. It's ridiculous.
You'd like it because it's ridiculous, though.
I do. I do like those. It's just peak American, like especially like the Hellcat, 'cause I think that one's only an automatic, but you can buy the earlier ones without it. You can still buy the Genesis, the G70 in 6, which is surprising.
Genesis.
And what's this? The Kia Forte GT is not gonna care for that. The Lotus Evora, Mazda 3, Miata, of course, Mini Cooper, Mitsubishi Mirage, Nissan 370Z, of course Porsche. I have a few things. Subaru has a good bit. Golf, Jetta.
Oh yeah, there's a Hellcat wide body.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous one. I mean, makes sense why that'd be an automatic though, because you're gonna be going in a straight line very fast. You don't want to be shifting the gears, I guess.
Only available in rear-wheel drive.
Oh yeah, that's what it's meant for. It's a drag car.
Mm-hmm.
The drag queen.
Yes. The base model looks kind of weird, actually. Looks like a boat.
Hmm. Yeah, why is Mazda 3 only has the manual for the not all-wheel drive version, which is stupid.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you can get the other models in all-wheel, which is nice. God, their interiors look like shit. Oh my god. Think of American cars, their interiors are ass. Like, it's just plastic galore. Like, it's not
They
even
want for
good
that
looking
G70.
plastic. What were you saying?
I'm looking at that Hyundai, or not Hyundai, that Genesis G70.
Hmm.
Let's take a look. What can you do for me, buddy?
Ooh, it's ugly.
Buckaroo.
Ugh. Disturbing.
It's actually semi in my price range for a semi-luxury car.
I don't know if I'd call it luxury, though. Like, actual
That's
luxury.
Hyundai's luxury brand. It's like,
It is, but, like, is it, though?
it's pretty
Actually,
fine.
yeah, it's not bad. I'm looking at the interior. It's better than I thought it was.
Oh, they have ventilated seats.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Oh, I think they have wireless charging. That's cool. I just don't like that front. Oh, God. That is ugly. I'm picky on styling, but I just, man. Only a mother could love that.
Can you let me build one, bitch?
Nope. Honda
Yes,
calls
I
their
can.
electric vehicles, like on the list here, it's like cars, minivans, trucks, electrified.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. That's the one thing with Honda. They always make good engines. I think they're gonna lose their shit now.
No, I think they could, maybe if they adapt well enough.
Select my trim. Da, da. That's cheaper than that.
Genesis.
Ooh,
It's on the very top. It says build your Genesis G70 when you're on the very top of the page.
I'm looking. I found it now. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a little bit on my. They have a twin turbo one.
Oh god, this build thing is so stupid. You have to click on like every little thing on it. Oh, it's got like 360. Like, oh, I'm in the car. Woo. Oh yeah, I'm in my car. That actually is kind of cool. Why do they need my zip code? Don't dox me.
Well, they're gonna go and harass you.
Genesis. What a name for a car. Well, I think, though, since we have ventured into car talk long enough, I will cut the stream.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yes. Oh, speaking of, I know Sam's going to mention this when he hops on, but Milo had Owen Benjamin on his show.
Oh God.
Sam, I know's got something to say about that. I thought it was actually fun. Like the interview he did. I think he's trying to save Owen. Like he literally put him through some like religious salvation. Oh yeah, he called it intervention.
Oh god.
He's trying to save Owen.
Yeah, he needs some help. He does. Oh.
Well, everyone, thank you for listening to Real News. You can like, share, and subscribe if you want more content like this. I don't think anybody's watching, but if you are, please do so, and we'll see you guys next time. Wash your hands.